So the FCC's new net neutrality killing bill has been voted on in a 3-2 vote. Net neutrality is gone, kind of. We still have to wait for the Senate to weigh in on this, but that's
actually optional. They can obstruct it if they choose to, but this is absolutely imperative that we get on this and speak up. Call your representatives. Call everybody.
Yeah.
Tweet at them. Email them. Everything you can do, because this will absolutely be detrimental to us. This is another thing this is not political. This is just a fact of life, because I'll tweet it out later this morning, but even before net neutrality was dissolved, there has been a long list of times that the various internet companies have broken the rules that were already in place. Correct. To try to gain a fiscal advantage over their own consumers.
Yeah.
And
I see it. I'm in telecom, so I actually see it. It's about once a month, if not twice a month, that I see an internet service provider breaking the current law. With the new law that's been put in place, with the new net neutrality being destroyed, if that happens, they will no longer be breaking the law. So doing things like throttling YouTube and Netflix will be okay. To block all. One of the big things that I see constantly is to block VoIP phones or to block any mobile connectivity or even PC connectivity software where you hang out and talk to people, like Google Hangouts. We've had ISPs block those because they want you to use their own versions of them in regards to VoIP phones and in regards to communication. I've seen them throttle or completely block IPs and ports specifically because they want you to use their product, or they've literally said, well, we don't support that with this internet connection. It's like, no, you have to support everything with an internet connection. And there's class action lawsuits that have been going on about this as well, but those will dissolve if this happens. So it's horrible.
And Verizon has been one of the loudest, saying, "Oh, we definitely won't mess with net neutrality or anything. We're just gonna keep doing what we've been doing." Okay, but Verizon has been particular about making sure that nobody could use their system in ways that they didn't anticipate. Like they actively blocked various Google phones from coming onto their network, the Nexus 5 and Nexus 6, despite the fact that they were compatible. Yeah, because they were released for other systems. And actively blocked those, and then they also did their Go 90 program, and they released, they're like, this doesn't count against your data cap, use our system that is inferior but it's free. And this is just a counter consumer thing. And
no, you're exactly
right. Since you're watching / listening to this, you are the person who is going to be actively hurt by this. We don't get super political on the show, but we all need to step up, do what we can, contact your representatives, keep fighting this, because this is bad.
Well, it's like you said, it has nothing to do with political affiliation. In fact, whatever your political affiliation is, you should be concerned with this, because you have companies who own, I'm going to get this wrong. Like you have companies that own specific internet providers, and they also own. Is it Bing? Hold on, no. Someone owns Yahoo. I think it was. Is AT&T owns Yahoo? I can't remember, but like they could basically make it so you only have to use their search engine. New Zealand is a great example of this. If you look and see how New Zealand and some other countries that don't have net neutrality work. You pay, let's say $40, $50 for your internet connection, for a decent internet connection. And if you want to use Social media for the month, that's another $5 to $7. If you want to use video streaming services like Hulu and Netflix, that's another $5 to $7. And every single bit is tacked on, and they block you from being able to access any of it unless you pay them extra. The problem, and I've gone into this before, but all those individual companies are already paying for their connection to the internet. They're paying for these ridiculously huge pipes into the internet so everyone can pull and watch Netflix. They're also paying for the servers and everything, and then you pay a subscription fee, which helps them pay for their bandwidth. That's how that works. You shouldn't have to pay your ISP additional money to use the bandwidth you're already paying for. That would be like someone coming up to you and saying, okay, well, for your water at your house, are you bathing with it? That's an extra charge. Are you drinking it? That's an extra charge too. We thought you were just going to use the sink. That's what they're doing. The internet, you're already paying for your connection. You're paying for your bandwidth. And you shouldn't be paying for your ISP to try to subsidize a connection that they're already being paid for. Netflix, Google, Hulu, everyone else is already paying ridiculous amounts of money for their connection. And they don't get money when you pay your ISP another $5 or $7 to have an internet have a connection to Hulu or YouTube. They're not going to get that money. The ISP just keeps it. And they say that people have said, okay, well, this will allow the ISPs to update their networks. They're not going to update their networks unless they have to. Being someone in telecom, then, yeah.
Progress has not been stalled in the past 2 years. As someone who goes cross country and sees a lot of the development, Verizon has consistently been upgrading their network and moving to 4G and improving 4G and 4G plus, and like all of these systems, they are continuing to innovate. And the argument that was made against net neutrality is, well, this is stifling innovation. It's not. That's a lie. That is by the data.
Yeah.
That is not what's happening. And so we all have to work together to fight this.
Yeah. It stifles small businesses. It stifles people who want to have an open and free discussion on the internet. That's why I was saying this is not political at all. If you want to be political about it, everyone on every side should be concerned about this. Because if, let's say you have, and like for an example, I have two choices when it comes to an ISP here. I have Spectrum or I have satellite. Yep. So basically, I have one choice. Now, let's say Spectrum, let's say their higher-ups decide, well, let's say they happen to lean right. And they say, you know what, I don't want people going to MSNBC, to go to CNN. I'm going to either throttle or completely block those websites. So that way people can't go to these. Young Turks or other very left-leaning news shows, they could just say, all right, well, we're going to block them because we don't think that's right. Again, if they leaned left, they could say, we're going to block Fox News and Breitbart. And to me, you're then at the mercy of your ISP's political affiliation, not your own. You're going to be censored. They're going to censor you and what you can see and what you can think in a forum that shouldn't be censored at all. The internet needs to be free for everyone to be able to use it and for everyone to be able to get their voices heard and to hear other voices. You need to hear discerning voices. You need to hear people who, it's important to have a completely open discussion on that. We could continue on for hours about it, but do anything that you can to contact your senators, contact everyone that you can who is in Congress, to let them know this is bad for business. I'm in telecom. I know how bad it is for business, and I'm hearing people try to describe how great it is, and they have no idea how the internet works. They have no idea how any of this works from an ISP standpoint or from a networking standpoint, and I think Congress doesn't know either. The person who does know is what's his name, Anji, who was he was a lobbyist for the ISPs. he doesn't have your interest in mind. He has internet service providers' interests in mind because they paid him millions of dollars in the past. So it's ridiculous.
So in closing, if you're wondering how you can help, one of the best things to do is to call. You can call 202-759-7766, and that will connect you. You'll put in your zip code, and that will connect you to your representative so that we can fill their phone lines up, so that we can fill their voicemail boxes up, and just let them know that this is not okay, and we expect them to step up. Exactly.
So go, let your voice be heard, whatever you can do. If this drops, if this happens, I can't 100%, or I'll have to look into legality, but there are ways around it that aren't easy. Not everyone's going to do. I'll look into legalities, and I'll see if I can put up any videos discussing how to do that, if I can, legally. Not to condone it, but to just talk about the ideas, I guess. I think, I may not be able to legally do that after this, but we'll see. Let us know in the comments if you've contacted your senators, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.